the two areas are transparency for patients, give them some kind of visual representation of where they're at in their patient journey and their recovery cycle. And then the other side is that of patient engagement, making sure. What potential opportunities are there to leverage data, the data that we receive through patient care, to create a more personalized experience, both for maybe caregivers or providers, but mainly the patients, because the patients are the reason the providers have a job, right? I think when thinking about this, I really came up with two main ideas or opportunities that are there and pretty available for clinicians to deliver a more personalized experience to patients. The first one is that of transparency throughout the process of care. How many times does a patient show up to a clinic and they know they're there because maybe their doctor referred them or the specialist referred them, but they really don't know much about what's going on. Maybe they've had some lab tests, maybe they've had some testing done, some diagnostic imaging done, and they just don't really know the results, right? They don't know what's going on. Some form of data visualization, whether it be tracking, like in physical therapy, tracking progress towards a goal, or delivering reports and outcomes of these diagnostic tests in a way that's visually appealing and easy to understand, as opposed to here's the report of your MRI that's like, 5 paragraphs, has a lot of big words that most people read and they're like, I don't really know what that means. But how can we take that data and then convert it into something that's visually appealing, that's kind of, maybe call it the PowerPoint level of your status? That way a patient can log in, can look at it and say, okay, this is what's going on, and move on with their day. The second area that I think is a big opportunity to create a more personalized experience has to do with the patient engagement side of things and understanding where a patient is in their life cycle with the organization and what specific touch points could be added or things could be done to improve the experience. So maybe it's something as simple as a survey that goes out after an initial evaluation, and based off of the information, you can say, oh, this patient is more likely to drop off, to not follow up with at their next follow-up visit, or miss their visit, or whatever. What kind of information do we have, or what kind of touch point or resource or value add can we provide to this patient to engage them again, to keep them hooked? Maybe it's something like a push notification or an email or a resource or something like that. Or even if you're really getting into AI and stuff like that, maybe it's a heads up video that's generated by artificial intelligence or something in the voice of the clinician, or the clinician themselves can just go ahead and shoot a quick little video and say, hey, I noticed XYZ, this is what we wanted to do, yada, 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 give some information so the patient can get more engaged or something like that. So the two areas are transparency for patients, give them some kind of visual representation of where they're at in their patient journey and their recovery cycle. And then the other side is that of patient engagement, making sure patients are have what they need when they need it to remain engaged and compliant and all of that kind of stuff with their home programs and their clinician recommendations.